For the past 3.5 decades, if you were looking for a comfortable sports sedan that could smoke so many supercars out on the road and on the track, you were looking at a BMW M3. Now, sadly for BMW, the previous generation lost a lot of its mojo to cars like the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio and even electric options like the Tesla Model 3 Performance. Now, while I have driven the current generation M3 in competition rear drive form, today I'm out in Thermal, California with BMW to drive the newest variant. This is the all-new M3 competition with xDrive, which means it's the first ever M3 to get all-wheel drive, which also means this is now the quickest accelerating model that BMW offers in the M3 lineup. Now, the cool thing about the M3, that green one over there is also a 6-speed manual transmission. It's one of the last manuals you can find in the segment. So if you guys are looking for the ultimate driving sports sedan, how does the current generation M3 and all its variants stack up? Stay tuned to find out. So the heart and soul of every BMW M product happens to be the motor. That's what M basically stands for. So I'm going to start, of course, with what's underneath the hood of these two vehicles. Now, this one here is the competition spec, but the green one over there is the standard M3. They both have 3-liter twin turbocharged straight 6-cylinder engines. That's right, this vehicle has 2 turbos as opposed to 1 turbo in the M340i. Now, in the base M3, it makes 473 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. The competition ramps that up because of bigger turbos and more boost to 503 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. The regular M3 over there comes standard with a 6-speed manual. You cannot get that model with an automatic. That only comes with a manual, which is interesting for BMW. The competition, which is what BMW plans to sell more of, only comes with an 8-speed torque converter Z-off automatic transmission. You can take it between the rear or xDrive all-wheel drive. This one here is the new all-wheel drive model, which is about $4,000 more versus the standard competition. Now, because of the all-wheel drive system, this is now able to sprint to 60 in 3.4 seconds. You'll reach a top speed of about 155 miles per hour. I suspect that's electronically limited. And fuel economy doesn't really take a hit. That manual over there is rated at 1623. This is rated at 1622, so 1 mpg difference. It's not really that big of a deal. Curb weight is where you're going to find a noticeable gain here. This one here, as it sits, weighs in at around 3,900 pounds. It's a couple hundred pounds heavier versus the standard M3 over there. Now, I want to briefly talk about the styling between the two vehicles because I have them here side by side. I'm gonna try to keep this brief because I've already shown you guys a walk around before. As you guys see, the massive beaver teeth grille of the M3 is front and center for this vehicle. Of course, on the M3, it has a slightly different finish to it where you have those vertical black slats. This individual frozen white metallic color is a matte finish, which looks fantastic with the black accents. It also has a $4,700 carbon fiber package, which includes carbon fiber on the front, on the roof, on the side splitters, and on the mirror caps. The headlights, of course, are their full BMW LED headlights, which are the same between the two models, between the M3 and the M3 competition. Now, I want to show you guys the rear of the Verde Mantis. Now, this color kind of reminds me a lot of a Lamborghini Huracan. This color is $4,500 extra. The white one over there is $3,600 extra. It looks fantastic in this green with the carbon fiber package. This one also has that carbon fiber accessory with, of course, the rear lip spoiler, the carbon fiber rear diffuser. You can see the exhaust tips on the regular M3 are chrome, while on the competition they're actually black. That's the model that has slightly louder exhaust, so I'll go ahead and I'll fire that up so you guys can hear what it sounds like. Yeah, that sounded a lot better. It definitely had a little backfire in the exhaust. I was like, yes, yeah. That sounds really good. This sounds a lot better than the old one for sure. Yeah, so this vehicle definitely sounds really good. I'm really impressed with BMW's latest engine. You can also see the black exhaust tips on this model look a little bit better. The green one had chrome badging. The competition has black badging, which I like more. And then there's a subtle little competition badge underneath the M3. And then both vehicles have the same size trunk. It's a power opening and closing trunk with the executive package. And the M3 gives you about 13 cubic feet of space versus 12 cubic feet that you're going to get in the 2-door M4. So as you guys can hear, even the regular M3, the non-competition, also sounds good when you put it into its M2 mode. Now, because I've shown you guys the interior before, I just want to show you a couple of the differences between the two vehicles. Now, first of all, this one, as you can see, is the manual transmission model. I love that BMW still offers a stick. You can see the throws are typical. They're really nice and short. It has a nice slickness through the gates. The clutch is definitely on the medium side in terms of firmness. I'll get this out on the road. We'll talk about how the manual model drives, but I want to basically show you one key thing with this model, and that's the seats, which literally are a pain in the butt to get out of, but these are the upgraded carbon fiber performance track seats. You can see these seats definitely hold you in place a little bit more, and they look fantastic. This is great if you guys regularly want to do some track driving, because you can put that 5-point seatbelt harness in this vehicle without a problem. The white one over here, you can see, has my favorite interior color option, and that's the orange. I love this orange interior color option, which really makes the interior stand out in a great way as Alex on Autos decides to get in the way of my shot.
Do a burnout. You broken down? You need help, old man?
All right, how
orange.
We go? Orange.
It's orange.
Anyways, back to the video. This one here has the standard M seats, which are orange. These are the upgraded full leather interior. These seats, again, are like $3,000 extra, but they really look good with the frozen white exterior. The seats are a little bit more comfortable in this model, but they don't hug you in place quite as well. But as I get in this car, it definitely feels a little bit more luxurious. You have more stitching on the dash and on the door panels. The same dashboard that I've shown you guys before, so I'm not gonna talk about that. But with the carbon fiber package, you do have these really slick carbon fiber paddle shifters, which are, as you can see, mounted to the wheel, and they're made of full carbon fiber. So this makes the car feel a lot more special. But overall, let me know which one you guys prefer in terms of the interior. I definitely like the orange model. The back seat of this vehicle also hasn't really changed. It still measures around 35.6 inches of legroom. That's with the front seat pretty much all the way back where my editor was driving. He's pretty tall, he's 6'2". But other than that, the orange seats I think is probably my favorite, but I do like how the competition seats over there really hold you in place a lot more. Hey guys, I want to take a quick break to thank you all for watching this video and talk about a bunch of new merch that we just added. It's all about the thunk. If you're interested in showing your support by purchasing this shirt, as well as a few others, be sure to visit the merch shelf located just below this video. Now, speaking of support, be sure to like, subscribe, and be sure to turn on all those notification bells so you're always alerted every time we make a new upload. All right, so a few months ago, I had the new M3 competition at my home and I tested it out and I was blown away with the performance that it gave me. That was the rear drive only version. We all knew an all-wheel drive model was coming, and now I'm finally driving the all-wheel drive version. And the cool thing is, I want to see what I can do at 0 to 60 wise, because the old one, or the rear drive version, did it in 3.6 seconds, which beat out BMW's claims. So let's go ahead and make sure everything is in Sport Plus, Dynamic, whatever, and we'll try launch controlling it. Put the stability control into its sport setting, and let's see what this baby can do. Oh, holy shit. Wow. 3.53 seconds, my first run. That is a little bit slower than BMW's claim. That all-wheel drive really helps this thing shoot out of the gate really fast. Go ahead, let's try it again. Oh, God, so brutal. 3.51 seconds. That's a little bit slower than BMW's claim, but there's no denying this thing will just tick off 3.5 seconds all day long. Wow. Now, this does still make it a little bit slower than a Tesla Model 3 Performance, which Tesla says it'll do it in 3.1. Obviously, BMW added all-wheel drive because they knew that the limitations of rear-wheel drive was hampering the launch for this vehicle. Like, they wanted it to be faster. It certainly feels quick. I am just in shock how brutal the launch is. And you know what? I want to try it one more time just because we can. Launch it again. Oh. Quickest time there, 3.5, bang on. Oh, I'm sad that I couldn't beat the 3.4 that BMW is claiming, but I have no complaints with that, other than the fact that it's still not faster than, you know, a Model 3 Performance. but it is quicker than the last Polestar 2 that I drove. But really what amazes me about this motor is not the 0 to 60 performance, it's the top end pull. You put your foot down on this car and it just pulls for days. It has way more than 503 horsepower. It's got an 8-speed transmission that is so quick to shift. And I love the paddles on this model because it's got the carbon fiber package on it. Oh my God. And unlike the previous generation, this 3-liter twin turbo straight six sounds incredible. Oh, I mean, yes, they got rid of the dual clutch for this generation, but this 8-speed is smoother around town, has plenty of power, plenty of pull, and it's just an amazing car. Like, I know M3s have always been amazing handling machines. They couldn't always get out of the hole very well in a straight line, but these new ones now, they have the handling prowess, they have the acceleration performance. They are just absolutely insane vehicles. Oh God. Oh my gosh. And with the all-wheel drive system, you can feel the front end getting the power because it's gonna primarily stay a rear drive car until it senses, the computer sees wheel spin at the back, and then it shuffles the power to the front. So it can give you the full-on, rear drive dynamics, even in all-wheel drive mode. I have it in 4-wheel drive sport right now with the stability control off. You turn it back on and the car's stability control clamps in a little bit sooner. And the cool thing about this car is it gives you the ability to go into the setup mode here and go into a complete 2-wheel drive mode where you can disconnect the front and give you a full rear drive model. That's the whole beauty about the M cars and a lot of the AMG vehicles, is you can still do the rear drive part if you want. You can turn this thing into a drift machine, completely chew up and destroy the rear tires if you want. But then if you want as well, you can basically go into M mode over here, go into the track setting, or go into your just comfort setting. I'll go back to road over here. And it really just allows this car to have kind of dual personalities. That's the whole reason why you buy an M product car. It's supposed to have that dual personality, and this car definitely does. It will cruise along on the highway, although I will say the ride quality isn't as comfortable as I thought it would be. I'm keeping in mind the last one that I drove. This one definitely, with the carbon fiber package and everything, you feel on this bumpy road. It's a little bit of a firm ride, but you kind of expect that when you have an M product car. You're not supposed to be expecting a comfortable ride in something like this. And then there's also the full-on dedicated track mode for those of you who want to take this out to the track. And that's the cool thing about this M3 is you have that split personality. You can take it to a track all day long, you can beat on it, and then you can drive it home from the track in relative comfort and relative practicality that you get with the regular M3. Now, of course, this car still has my usual quibbles with the 3 Series. The interior is not what I would say class leading in terms of technology. This one here is pretty nice though, with the merino, full merino leather, with the full leather on the dash, on the door panels. I love these orange seats that come paired up with the white. This is exactly how I would spec this. And if you want a manual transmission, you can get a manual transmission on the base M3, not the competition model like this one, but the fact that you can get a stick makes this one of the few cars. Only this and the Cadillac offers a manual. And that's just phenomenal. That's just what makes this car so good, is the fact that you can get it with a manual. Oh my God, I would never get tired of the acceleration in this car. I mean, yes, there are faster vehicles, but nothing else feels quite as balanced and as just road focused, track focused, yet also giving you that dual personality as this vehicle. I mean, the steering is so quick and direct, but it's also a little numb. I want it to be a little heavier in feel. BMW still hasn't got the steering tuning right. The seats hold me in place so well, which is great. The chassis just feels stiff. It feels like a sports car. I feel like I'm driving a sports car that's built for the track, yet can also drive me to and from work, or take me to the grocery store, or take me on a longer drive. And that's the cool thing about these M cars. So yes, am I still in love with the M3? Absolutely. I am going to hop into the manual transmission models. We can compare the two, but the competition package is probably the one that I'm going to prefer. And the fact that you can get it now with all-wheel drive just makes this such a desirable sports sedan. The ultimate driving machine, that's what BMW is known for, and this latest M3 embodies that saying perfectly. All right, so after just hopping out of the competition with all-wheel drive, that is the quickest accelerating M3 ever. But I also didn't want to pass up an opportunity to drive the manual transmission model, because the manual, this car is one of the few that offers a stick. The other one is the Cadillac ATS V Blackwing. And I'm just excited that BMW offers a stick, and if you want the regular M3, it only comes with a manual, which makes this car super cool. The fact that it is a manual is rare because most people nowadays don't even buy manual, and this manual transmission is paired with a 473 horsepower turbocharged straight 6-cylinder engine, and it just feels really good. Now, 0 to 60 performance is not the point with a manual, but I figured I'd go ahead and try it. I'm not the best shifter, but we'll go ahead and see what I can do here. All right, I got 4.4 seconds there, which honestly isn't that bad. I mean, yes, it's about 0.8 of a second slower versus the competition in rear drive, and about a second slower than the all-wheel drive version, but wow, this is actually a lot of fun. It doesn't get as tail happy as I thought it would. Remember, the two-wheel drive competition also puts the power down surprisingly well like an all-wheel drive car, and this comes with active rev matching. Put my foot down here. Oh God, the manual definitely doesn't like to be rushed though, because I tried to put it into third there and I accidentally almost went into first. So kind of just keep that in mind. It doesn't like to be rushed. Oh my God, it's so fast. It feels so good though once the turbo comes on boil. Like this thing just pulls and pulls, and it's relentless, just like the regular M3 or just like the competition model. This 3-liter twin turbo straight 6 feels significantly underrated, and it sounds good. Listen to the noise this makes. Oh my God, this definitely feels a lot more impressive versus the ATS V Blackwing that I drove. The ATS V was nice, but the engine just didn't have the same kind of sweetness that this straight 6 has. You just can't beat a straight 6-cylinder engine. They're just fantastic, and BMW does these extremely well, so I'm not surprised that even in its regular form, the M3 is amazing. Now, would I buy the competition over the manual? You know, there was a time where I would say absolutely not. I would get the manual all day long, and while I like the manual, if I was daily driving this vehicle, I'd get the automatic. The automatic is just quicker in every way. It's going to be easier to drive when you're stuck in traffic. And yes, this is a more visceral, engaging feel, but it's not like the regular M3 is super boring to drive. It just, modern automatics have just surpassed manuals. That's the world that we live in, unfortunately. And as good as this is, I just can't help but notice how much slower it feels. Oh my God. Yes. Oh God, this is like, thank you so much BMW for still offering a stick. And I get it, some enthusiasts must have a manual, and I respect that. Get the manual transmission model. I prefer it over the ATS V Blackwing or the CT4 V Blackwing. But if you drive the competition model with the new all-wheel drive system, that's the one you're gonna wanna end up signing on, because it is basically at the next level performance. BMW knew the M3 needed to be faster to keep up with its new rivals, and this car delivers on that. So after getting a chance to drive both the all-wheel drive and the 6-speed manual versions of the M3, I am simply blown away with the entire package that BMW offers here. They seriously lost their mojo for the previous generation, but BMW has found it again, because the current generation M3 is one of the best driving, quickest accelerating 4-door sports sedans that money can buy. Yes, it's technically still not faster in a straight line than a Model 3 Performance. I was able to confirm that with my 3.5 0 to 60 time. However, because this engine is relentless, it offers 503 horsepower, that's German horsepower, it seriously feels underrated. This car will easily smoke something like the Model 3 Performance in the quarter mile most likely, and of course out on a track, because the BMW, regardless of which one you get, the manual transmission M3 or the competition, is a vehicle that's basically designed to handle track work and also be a very comfortable daily driver. And that's one of the reasons why the M3 is so popular. I easily would pick this ahead of anything like the Audi RS5, the Mercedes-AMG C63, and the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. And really, If you're looking for straight line speed, the all-wheel drive model is going to give that to you, but just keep in mind that its numbers are going to be slightly off the fastest electric sedans, but BMW has a solution for that, because if you want a fast electric version of this car, the i4 is coming out sometime next spring, and that's going to be promising to be most likely faster than this model, even though BMW says the i4 is technically not as quick. Now, speaking of which, if you're looking to buy the M3 with all-wheel drive, all three variants are already on sale. They start at about $69,000 for the regular M3. Add about $3,000 if you guys want the competition package, $4,000 more if you guys want all-wheel drive. So this model starts at $69,000, this model starts at around $77,000. Both of them have a plethora of options on them, roughly $20,000 worth of options, because this car here is $94,500, while this one here is $96,000. That makes the M3 one of the most expensive options out there. However, few other vehicles can really touch how well-rounded this car is. I think that's one of the reasons why BMW has significantly found their mojo again, and I'm just really happy that they consider themselves to be the ultimate driving machine, and the M3 pretty much embodies that. But with all that said, I hope you guys have enjoyed my full overview on the 2022 BMW M3 and M3 competition with xDrive. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at redline_reviews, like us on Facebook, and as always, guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.